Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network. Actually, this is good evening here, but I'm sure that some people are watching over the globe over there, and it's going to be good morning for day. All right, S&P 500 weekly chart. So we got pretty nice rally today, Friday session after Jackson Hole, when Jerome Powell just talked about rate cut. Potentially, it's going to happening in September, and another one potentially November, December, actually October or December, which market just priced based on 90% probability of the rate cut in September, which everyone kind of like a betting on that one as well. So today we just got a kind of confirmation from Powell said the job market still is strong and inflation is kind of like getting there. It is still high, but we kind of like getting close to the rate cut, or kind of like we are considering rate cut. However, we are data dependent. So this is kind of like the green light from the market, and market just got it very, very nicely to the upside. S&P 500 didn't get to new all-time high, but new closing all-time high on a weekly basis. And this is kind of like the bullish consolidation. I still in that camp that even within this rally, we are heading to a kind of like a volatile period for the market. Remember, September, October, we always see the sharp sell-off or kind of like a corrective move, which is gonna be a buying opportunity. I'm not saying the sell-off or crash is gonna happen. I still looking for a bull market continuing over to 2026, potentially first half of 26. You're gonna see the a multi-decade top for the market. So if we just flip back to the market, you see that the same president in 2020, when we got COVID crash, you see that the sharp sell-off here is the sharp sell-off. Let me just show you here. Here is the COVID crash sharp sell-off, right? So this is kind of like an April sharp sell-off as well. And we got very, very nice V-shaped recovery over there, and we got a V-shaped recovery here as well. However, this time we are getting to this upper line of this trend line here, or channel. We didn't get that close to this line. However, we got very, very nice overstretched scenario, the same as a 2020. But look what happened in 2020. If you want to zoom in here, I'm going to show you exactly what happens. So this is the last week of August. So this is August 2020, and market just went all the way down to September 19. We got kind of like a getting back to the upside, and then going all the way down to October 2020, October 24. And after that, market just recovering nicely. Look at the Maribuzo candle on a weekly chart and heading to new all-time high all the way to December 2021, which is a year after that. So I would say market can do the same scenario here. I'm just looking for exactly the same thing. Not exactly, but the same kind of like a pattern. We can see a volatility starts next week or even end of next week when we go down, and then in September, October, we are going to see the zigzag, and then November, December is getting back to the upside. By February, March, we're going to hit a 7,000 area, which is my forecast for S&P 500. Even if we go higher, 7,000 to 7,400, it's not going to be a big deal. But I would say this area in 2026 would be multi-decade top for the market. And after that, we're going to see a secular bear market. So still, it is early to talk about that. But for next week or next few weeks, I would say people can just save the money, just book the profit on the side. I have all my long positions. I kind of like diversified my position into some areas that was beaten recently, and with even negative days, even 2 weeks ago, we did very well. And the market just when doing sideways, we are doing well as well, just because we are kind of like a diversified portfolio into heavy value names. And some names actually overstretched, like semiconductors. I know that they had fantastic result today, but all of them are overstretched, overbought, and they're kind of like a very, very sensitive for correction. But there are some names, if you want to play in long position, there are some names that they're very, very good. Still, they have lots of potentials to the upside. And those names are in Dow components. And Dow Jones got into new all-time high. However, S&P 500 daily chart We see that market just getting back to the upside, and we can go still 65.99. I'm not sure if we get there, but today price action was marvelous. Like it was amazing. Still looking for, as I said, September, October to 5900, 6000 is a very, very decent corrective move to the downside. 5 to 10% correction is going to be a fantastic scenario for the market to see as a buying opportunity. Nasdaq, we got a negative week. I know we had a very fantastic day today, but kind of like a uh, hammer or hanging man. We call it hanging man on the top, hammer at the bottom. So this is hammer, but at the top we call it a hanging man there. So I don't know if it is hanging man there. We need to see a correction or kind of like a continuation to the downside as a confirmation. If we get some kind of like a red bar next week, then we're going to see, okay, correction started already and we are heading down to 21,000 to 22,000. I slightly and gradually adding to my shorts in Nasdaq, and it's still less than 2%. Actually, until yesterday, it was positive. So even with this mini correction, just 2 days, 3 days correction, we get into positive territory for our shorts. However, the short position is less than 2%, so it doesn't bother me if it's just getting to the zero, which I don't think it's going to happen. Potentially in October, September, we're going to make money out of that. Moving on to daily chart on the Nasdaq daily. So we got pretty nice scenario to the upside after 6 consecutive days to the downside. Nasdaq just getting back to the upside, recapture SMA 20. This means still we can go higher. And also this bullish bull reversal to the upside on a stochastic. This tells me that we're going to see the momentum potentially getting back to the higher side. I'm not sure if it gets to new all-time high, but it doesn't surprise me if it gets to new all-time high because it's kind of like exhaustive momentum to the upside. But if we get below this, because every correction seems like Nasdaq is getting more volatile. So every correction, if it's getting below this 23,000, I would say Nasdaq is going to be into trouble. It can go another 2,000 lower than that. Dow Jones hitting new all-time high today. Fantastic move. So as I said before, Dow is kind of like outperformer for the other names. You see that he just hit my target here, 45,600 today, and this is great. So still looking for Dow, just outperforming the market, even within rainy days or kind of like a corrective move. Dow still can be better player compared to the other one, just because Dow didn't move that fast. I know it was like a sharp rally to the upside, but compared to the other indexes, Dow didn't move that fast, and Dow can go higher, still can do better. Gold at the same time going higher today because you know that cutting rate is going to be beneficial for gold, and it's kind of like coming up with our analysis here. It was kind of like a tricky last 2-3 days because gold is getting back down, and it's just giving the scenario that we may see some kind of like a trend changing to the upside. Still, it could be possibility. I would say we need to get above this. So we need to get above this previous high. If we get above this, it can go all the way up to 34.51 and then initiate rally all the way up to new all-time high, 3600, which I believe that it's going to happening soon. Gold today price action was amazing. Moving on to silver is the same. Silver just getting back to the upside nicely, and I don't know why my chart going all the way back, but silver just getting back to the upside. We take out this low, this high here, and potentially we're gonna see silver $40. If we take out this $40 high, we're gonna go all the way up to my target, which is gonna be $42 to $44 per ounce. Moving on to crude. Crude actually is forming pretty nice bottoming formation, I would say. As I said before, if we take out this 60 to the downside, we're going to go all the way down to 51 to 53. But a crude is forming very nice bottom here. And this is going to be potentially multi-months or multi-weeks bottom. As you see here, it was like a hope for Russia and the Ukraine war to get into ceasefire or kind of like finishing the war. But seems like it's getting frustrating right now. And people are kind of like disappointed. I'm not blaming anyone, but the war situation is getting more complicated, and it is more complicated than everyone is expecting. So if that war doesn't go to ceasefire or any hope, can fade into the disappointment, crude can just spiking higher to the upside, which patterns actually are showing me that potentially that's going to be the scenario. I don't know if it comes from the Ukraine or Russia or from the Middle East, potentially another Israel or Iran war. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but charts tell me that potentially crude formed the bottom. And this is kind of like a relating to geopolitical tensions again. So stay tuned for that one. Keep an eye on for this, because if this is the bottom, we're going to see a multi-month rally for crude, which is not going to be favorite for President Trump, but I think it's going to happening soon, or sooner than expected, just because the pattern shows a very, very solid bottom, and it's just waiting for just one ignite to spike up to the upside. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I know today was kind of like a positive momentum to the upside of a future market. It's just going down. You know that Bitcoin is open 24/7. So right now it's just getting back to the downside. And I know that lots of charts are getting into new all-time high or pretty close to new all-time high. But Bitcoin, after correction, today was just a dead cat bounce. And I believe that this is going to be a dead cat bounce and potentially correction is coming down the road. Ethereum is the same, getting to new all-time high today. Ethereum, fantastic move, 4,800. And then today it's just getting back down. There is a huge divergence between these two tops here. So we will see. If it goes below this low, I would say Ethereum can go all the way down to here again, another 1,000 level or even more to the downside. Bond yield just getting back to the downside after today speech from Jerome Powell, Jackson Hole. This is a classic bear flag. And if we take out this, I would say April low is coming down the road and bond yield can go all the way down there, which is going to be good for bond because we are bond holder and we are waiting for this. This is a pretty nice bull flag here. We're waiting for this rally all the way up to 93, 94. And I believe that it's coming down the road and it's going to be very, very soon. So we will see how it goes with bond, and bond can go higher. Dixie at the same time going lower as well. So 97, 73. And Dixie, if it triggers another bearish momentum, it's going to be very bad because Dixie can go even to $92, $93, $92. VIX at the same time going down 15% to the downside, $14. It's a very, very bad price for VIX since this year. So December 2024, you see that it's going back all the way to last year, and the VIX is just getting down. Apple at the same time going higher today. Technology was pretty good. I know this is kind of like a corrective move, but I'm not sure if Apple can continue to the upside. Market is fragile. I know today price action was pretty positive, but all in all, charts are telling me that potentially this is kind of like the ecstasy before the storm. Meta at the same time going higher today. Microsoft, you see that the chart is down. Even today was not that spicy movement. It's just getting up just because of the hype and because of the market condition. But ultimately, I'm looking for Microsoft to getting down here as well. Google at the same time going up, nominal new all-time high for Google. Okay, thanks God. Finally, it gets to nominal new all-time high, and still it is cheap. If you just compare to the other Mag 7s and PE ratio, Google still it is cheap. However, any kind of like a correction could be great buying opportunity. Netflix actually didn't go well today. It's one of those names that actually didn't care about the market. Tesla, fantastic move. I had a video for Tesla. Make sure watch that one. It's coming tomorrow. So specifically for Tesla, and I believe that Tesla is going to hit this area soon, and everyone needs to watch that one. SMH semiconductor index just getting back to the upside. Potentially this is going to be head and shoulder pattern. So we'll see. Stocks the same here. We got here and we got like a sellers again to control, getting back to the downside, like a late session. Nvidia nicely getting back to the upside. I would say we need to take out this high just because it's just a 1-2 days a positive. It doesn't mean that Nvidia can go higher. I would say still 150 is going to be a good area for Nvidia. AMD the same. So we're going to see kind of like a support here. And today kind of like a technical price action coming along with Jackson Hole. But I'm not sure for next week. Again, everyone needs to be careful. Taiwan Semiconductor the same. Texas Instruments all the way up. Pretty nice momentum, to be honest. And we're gonna close this gap, and potentially that's gonna be a sell signal. Look at the shadow here, late session, and Lamb research as well. So look at the shadow here, late session. It's just going all the way 102, and then getting back down, 2% down entire session, intraday session going down. Close positive, but this is not uh, the favorite pattern that bulls want to see. XLF banks actually are getting higher, pretty nice momentum to the upside. KBE, what a surge. So it just hit my target here. This is the institutional level. KRE, pretty close to this level area. So we may see some kind of like a rally next week potentially. And JP Morgan getting back to the upside, rocketing up. Goldman Sachs rocketing up to the upside. Bank of America, new all-time high here. Wells Fargo rolling over to the upside. Potentially, we're going to see 80 to 82, but I'm not sure above that. Gold miners, pretty nice momentum. Bull flag here, trigger to the upside. GDXA, just same here, going higher. AEM, bull flag trigger to the upside. Newmont, bull flag trigger to the upside. And getting to this interesting sector, which is XLE, energy spider. So you see that here's the top information here. But if we take out this, we're going to see another one. And if we take out this, we're going to see all-time high. And that's why I'm saying energy market is just waiting for an ignite. If you see that ignite or a spark, it's going to just spiking higher pretty fast and furious. So we'll see how it goes. Exxon the same here. Look at that. So this is a gigantic bull flag here prior this trend line. So I'm just waiting for this because I believe that this one can go a lot higher, 122, 124, before everyone thinks about it. Chevron is the same, already triggered to the upside. Potentially, we're going to see this gap. All right, folks, I believe I covered everything. What do you think about the market? Do we need to expect any correction, or we should just keep buying and keep holding because market doesn't want to have any correction? I'm waiting for your comment and I'm going to reply back. Have a great evening, and we can see you on the chart. Bye-bye.